Okay. All right, so here we go. Chapters 10 and 11, Great Expectations. That's where we're at now. So, what's a typical class session like for Pip? So, it's with Great Aunt Wopsle. We already know that she spends most of the time sleeping. Uh, and when she's not, she's actually trying to hit the kids. The kids basically just chow down on apples, try to put straws down each other's back. They pass around one single book and then try to stomp on each other's feet. So, as you can tell, it's not really the best education, but Pip is trying because he wants to get smarter, he wants to get better. So, his new thing is Biddy seems like she's pretty smart. Let's get as much help as I can from her. And that's kind of what he's been working on. On this most recent night, he goes to meet Joe at the Three Jolly Bargemen. Joe's there with Mr. Wopsle, and there's a stranger there. And, Pip walks up and he sees Mr. Wopsle. And Wopsle does the thing where he rubs Pip's head, like this little, which Pip hates. And he, mentions that this is going to be like a recurring thing with Pip where he hates people rumpling his hair. That's just kind of an interesting thing. And the stranger offers to buy a drink for everyone there. And while he buys this drink for everybody, he points at Pip, makes the gun motion, hey, I gotcha. And as he's looking at him, he stirs the drink with Joe's file. So somehow this guy knows Pip's convict. And not only that, he's like, I want to give this kid a shilling. Let me go and give this kid a shilling. Joe's like, all right, that's sure. So he gets a shilling out of his pocket, wraps it in some paper, sends it home with them. Except when they get home, the paper that the shilling was wrapped in was 2 1-pound notes. That would be like someone telling you they're going to give you 50 cents and then wrapping the 50 cents in 2 20s. Can't find the stranger. He's gone. No word, no wonder. No one knows what's up. That's chapter 10. Chapter 11 gets us into Miss Havisham's birthday party, the world's most uncomfortable celebration, because she's got all her awful family there. She's got Camilla, who's blander than Mrs. Joe, Cousin Raymond, the one guy that's there, Sarah Pocket, who's described, I believe, having a cat mouth, which is kind of a weird thing, and then Georgiana. And they're all there. They're just kind of waiting for their chance to go in. Pip gets to go in for them. But before he goes in to see Miss Havisham, Estella turns and she's like, hey, do you think I'm in pretty? And Pip's like, yeah. And she's like, do you think I'm insulting? And Pip says, well, not as insulting as you were last time with me. And then she slaps him in the face hard. And it's just like, why don't you go cry? So last time she insulted him. This time she slapped him. Not going great for our guy Pip. As we see this Pip walking up, we see this man who, since Charles Dickens goes out of his way to describe him, will probably come back later. This burly man of exceedingly dark complexion with bushy eyebrows, bald, sharp eyes, big watch chain, smells like soap. Gave us a lot about this guy. He's probably going to come back. We'll just have to stay tuned for that. As Miss Havisham talks to Pip and it's he walks around a little bit, walks her around the table, different room. This old bridal feast that means nothing now. I mean, that's what we know. She was left at the altar. That's why the clocks are stopped. That's why the house is basically left like it was as she was preparing for the wedding. And as she's talking to all the guests that are there, she kind of points. It's like, Sarah Pocket, you'll sit here. Camilla, you're here. Because remember, you'll sit here to feed on me. Meaning the idea that the only reason they're there for her birthday party is because they want to get a piece of her inheritance. So they're going to suck up to her now to try to get the money when she dies. And that's what she's calling them all out on. Even this guy, Matthew, who's not there. But she puts him at the head. It's almost like he at least gets a little bit of respect for not showing up, but you can tell there's some animosity between the family. By and large, we end up with most of the chapter kind of wrapping up, although we do get one more awkward moment for Pip. As he's walking around outside, he sees this pale young kid. And same age as him, just a regular young kid, looks a little bit more well off. Kid comes up to Pip and he's like, "Who are you? What are you doing? We're going to fight." And Pip, before Pip can even figure out what's going on, the kid headbutts him in the stomach and starts taking his shirt off so they can fight. Pip's like, "Okay, sure." And Pip thinks he's going to get beat up, but he's, basically the adopted kid of a blacksmith has been working pretty hard. His life is stronger than he thought. And he knocks this pale young gentleman down a whole bunch of times until the kid gives up. Very politely, though. And as kind of a reward for all his one-punch power, Estella lets Pip kiss her on the cheek, which even he describes as like not very romantic or special, but it's like the most that Pip can think ever happened. Why he's so interested in this girl who's awful to him, we'll never know, but you get to kiss her on the cheek. That's where we end off chapter 11. That will do it for now. Hopefully this video helped you, and good luck on the quiz.